What's up guys, NepentheZ here and welcome back to another episode of The Road to Glory. Today's video is 2 drafts. As you can tell by the title, we got an insane reward, but hashtag project team of the season, am I right? So one of the rewards that we got here today, we ended up saving for team of the season. I know some of you guys don't necessarily enjoy the drafts post-com, and I wanted to give you guys some of the silver gameplay here today, working towards that 50k pack. But yesterday, my partner had a hernia operation, so I'm on daddy duties for a few nights, and it just limits the amount of time I can spend on the game. And so it's like I already had this stuff done, basically. So I'll try and get the silver gameplay and stuff up over the next day or two, but I haven't even played them yet. So I do want to play them though. I'm 1 out of, it's just 6 wins with a silver team. It's not groundbreaking. You get a 50k pack for it. It's worth it ultimately. But yeah, enjoy the draft gameplay, guys. BCP says, EA have killed this game, man. I played every weekend league apart from the past 2 weeks. Finishing is like buying a lottery ticket. And you guys know me, right? I'm always up for calling EA out on the nonsense when the nonsense is necessarily there to be called out on. And I'm all for, wanting a better game and a better gaming experience. And one thing that's for sure, though, is that a better game or a better gaming experience is definitely tailored to the person that's complaining. Like, there were some people that hated the time finesse shots, some people that loved them. When I started crossing the ball a lot, there were some people that loved and engaged in the crossing mechanic and some people that hated it. Now that I'm hitting the scoop volleys a lot, some people are like, wow, this is so amazing. Like, I love this. I get to score some cool goals. And some people are like, dude, this is just stupid. It's so broken. You can't defend it. And so for EA to find the right balance, that's going to be tough. In terms of, what you say, though, BCP, finishing is like buying a lottery ticket. The biggest issue for me in that regard is the fact that it's just it doesn't make sense. It like what EA give us is something that is not common sense, and that's what bugs people the most. And the way you got to look at it is, and the way that I've been trying to look at it is that this is a video game, and if you want to play FIFA like football, you have to understand the fact that a lot of things are going to go wrong in FIFA that would go right in football. However, if you want to play FIFA like a video game, you got to take footballing common sense out of the equation and do what works as a video game. For example, if you were playing Fortnite and you keep picking up a shotgun, and a shotgun does more damage over 100 meters than a rifle, you wouldn't keep picking up the rifle and trying to shoot someone and then get angry with them because they're killing you with the shotgun from a far distance. You'd just be like, well, the shotgun's overpowered. Let me pick up the shotgun from this distance and try and do this damage. Because there's nothing in the real world to connect the dots together. So nobody carries on shooting with the rifle, going, oh my god, in the real world, the rifle would do so much more damage. Because although it would, this just isn't something we connect the dots with. In FIFA, however, scooping the ball up to yourself from 30 yards out and volleying it home is a more appropriate way of scoring than shooting inside the box whilst one-on-one with the goalkeeper. And that doesn't make sense because you do connect the dots then. And in the real game, in real world, you never see people scoop the ball up to themselves and then volley it home. I honestly can't remember a single instance where I've seen that. The closest I've seen, I think, was a Liverpool free kick where the free kick got flicked up and then volleyed in, but that was 2 different people interacting rather than 1 person. So mentally, it doesn't make sense in terms of a footballing fashion to scoop the ball up and shoot. What makes sense is to get into the box and try and roll the ball into one of the corners or drill the ball past the goalkeeper, and that just doesn't work in FIFA. And so when people say finishing is like buying a lottery ticket, what I immediately, my mindset immediately goes to is that if you want to win more games at FIFA, and I've been working hard on this the last couple of weeks. I don't know if you guys noticed, but my gameplay generally has improved again over the last few weeks, mostly because I've been playing the game a lot again. But if you want to be successful at FIFA, you've got to find what works in FIFA and abuse that more, and remove what is sensible within football and stop doing that. And so, when playing certain passes, like for example, manually tackle, if a defender manually tackles in real life, chances are they just win the ball back. If you manually tackle in FIFA, you just lose the ball. And yet people will still continually tackle and tackle and tackle because that's what they're used to seeing so much. And you got to remove that aspect. So if finishing is like buying a lottery ticket, what you've got to do is find out what number combination is most likely to win and keep buying tickets with those numbers on. Because there are more appropriate ways of scoring in FIFA and less appropriate ways of scoring in FIFA. And if the majority of your chances are you trying to score via the less appropriate methods, you're going to score less goals and you're going to introduce more randomness to your game. However, if you try and score using the more appropriate methods, whether they make logical sense or not, you're going to give yourself a better chance of scoring, and the randomness is going to favor you more. And that's sadly just the way FIFA is, and I wish that wasn't the case. Daniel McHugh says, loving the videos. What's your opinion on the lack of SBCs this week? Was expecting 2 or 3 a day, or else a few SBCs like Hybrid Nations and Hybrid Leagues could keep up the good work. You know, what this makes me think about is just how in the dark we are from EA, because EA obviously have very valid reasons why they do or don't drop SBCs or items and stuff. I don't necessarily think that EA sit there and think to themselves, how can we piss everybody off today? How can we upset our user base again today? How can we frustrate people again today? I don't think they sit there and do that, because that is just illogical. What I think they have, though, is I think that they have, you know, all the data, all the metrics about how the game is going, whether the market is in a good place or a bad place, how many people are playing the game, how many people engage with SBCs. And I think they look at that, and that's what helps them dictate what they put out, how often they put it out, and from there onwards. What really just frustrates me is how little information we have about this, you know? How, like, when they dropped a lot of the promos recently, the Team of the Year promo, the FFS promo, they told us, hey guys, throughout this week, you're going to get 2 UCL Moments cards, you're going to get some Team of the Year nominee cards, you're going to get 2 flashback items. I love that. You know, or for the Prime Icon stuff, you know, they said we're going to release our first Prime Icon Moments SBC, and I love the fact that I kind of knew not what specifically was coming. I didn't know exactly what was coming. I didn't know the requirements. I just knew something was coming, and that was enough for me. That was like, okay, I love that. On a week like this, where A, we don't know if anything's coming or what's coming, and B, when it does come, we don't know if it's going to be something we like or are interested in or not. That's what kind of frustrates me a little bit, is again, it's just the lack of transparency and the lack of communication from EA that bothers me. Like the Kurzawa SBC just got released. It's an utter waste of coins, you know, especially if you go back to yesterday's video and look at what we talked about yesterday in how that, you know, the way that SBCs right now are not worth it for anyone to do. EA have released this Kurzawa SBC, and it is grossly overpriced, right? It's coming in at over 200,000 coins for an 87 rated Kurzawa that is barely an upgrade. It's like a second inform upgrade on his foot swaps card. It does offer a couple of packs back, but as we all know, the packs returned are never great value, because you have to be one of the lucky ones to hit something good. So here's our reward, by the way, guys. We collect our rewards after winning the draft, a really good win as well. And we end up hitting for the second time this year now the 100k pack. So I was super stoked about that, and a 15k pack. So I've saved the 100k pack. That's now 11 we've got saved up for Team of the Season. But yeah, this Kurzawa SBC, there's only a handful of people that should do this. Number one, you should only do this SBC if you have a French squad and he's a big upgrade to your current French left back. You should do this SBC if you have a PSG squad and he's an upgrade to the current Kurzawa that you have. You should do this SBC if you have Neymar, and this will really help with linking him, or if you have striker Mbappe and this will really help linking him, and you don't have an alternative that's already very good. But other than that, this is a mediocre card that is not even close to being the best left back in the game for its own price. You know, 200,000 coins plus for the SBC. For 160,000 coins, you can get Inform Alexandro. For 100,000 coins, you can get FFS Grimaldo. For 150,000 coins, you can get UCL Alba. And whilst, again, the benefits of an SBC is that A, you could do this for cheap than the SBC price. B, you get some packs back, and you might be one of those anomalies that hits a big card out of the packs and recuperates a lot of their coins, but most likely nobody will. And C, you get to do it with untradeable items. You don't need the official coin balance. Like if this SBC comes in at 200,000 and you only have 100,000 coins, you're not sitting there going, damn it, I can't complete it. You're sitting there going, okay, what have I got in my club? Like, let me use some 83s, some 86s, maybe a spare 87 that you had laying around, and you can go from there. So there is that benefit. But the problem is that I'm trying to advocate for people to not do these SBCs, because if a lot of people do this Kazawa SBC, EA aren't going to see the fact that, hey, this was an overpriced SBC, it's not really great value for money. I personally think it's about twice the price it should be. If this was 100,000 coins and still offered the same packs in return and the 87 rated card, I'd be all for it. But at 210,000 coins, I just can't justify that, not even on my account. The problem is if 10,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 people do this SBC just because it's the only one there, which is sadly what a lot of people do. A lot of people do this SBC, even though it's not a card that improves their squad, even though it will massively deteriorate the assets in their club for a card that, again, will probably not improve their squad. A lot of people will do this card because it's a new card, it's a special card with a cool design, and it offers some packs back, and that's the promised land of, oh, but what if I hit something big out of that pack, man, and then he cost me nothing and I got something good. So lots of people are still going to do this Kazawa in spite of the fact that he's incredibly overpriced and is just not a great card in the context of the fullbacks that we have available in today's game. And the issue with that is that if 10,000 or 20,000 or 50,000 or 100,000 or 500,000 people do this SBC, EA don't see why they did it or what they did it for, or the fact that they didn't care about the card after they did it. EA just see the fact that they did it. And so when EA see all those numbers completing this SBC, they can take that data and be like, yeah, this was a success. And so the next SBC they're going to give out is going to be an equally overpriced average card with bad rewards that people are going to do again, because it's the fear of missing out. What if... And I used to do this a lot, and I don't do it anymore, because I kind of got to the point where I'm like, look, I'll bite the bullet on some things on this, right? People are like, but what if Mbappe wins the French Player of the Year, which you got the Young Player of the Year, was it last year or the year before, and you need a high-rated PSG card, and that has to be French, and that's like... Then instead of having to buy Mbappe, I get to use this Kazawa card. And people don't try and trick themselves into thinking it's a good idea. And I used to do things like that all the time, man. I used to sit there and, like, for example, I did not use that Mario Götze flashback card, which I've hated and played 20 games on all year, because I thought if Royce wins Player of the Month and they require a Dortmund German central-based player, I can beat the game and use that flashback card instead. The problem is that by trying to beat the game by doing all these SBCs and stuff, you're actually just playing yourself completely. You know, you're losing your own value and your own worth with your cards. And so I stopped doing that. And so I stopped doing players for the fear of missing out. You know, I didn't do that Schmeichel card, even though he's super cheap and an 87 rated. We've been through whether or not he's valuable or not. But even though he's super cheap, I could have just done him for the sake of doing him. I'm not doing him for the sake of doing him, because I'm not... The fear of missing out, there might be one or two times where you sit back and you think, if I had have done that, this would have been so much easier. But there will be 10 or 20 or 30 or 40 times where you do something that is ultimately a waste of coins, that by not doing those other things, you'll save far more than the saving that you would have made by doing that, the one or two things that help save you somewhere down the road, you know. So I can't get behind this SBC. I hope you guys don't too, unless it is a true upgrade to your squad. And even then, if this is a true upgrade to your squad, if you can fit in FFS Grimaldo instead of this Kazawa, go and get FFS Grimaldo. He's 100,000 coins. He's very similar in terms of ability. He has some pros on Kazawa and some cons on Kazawa. And he's 100,000 coins and he's tradable. And so even if his price drops to 50,000 coins, you can still get 50,000 coins back for that card. Once you do Kazawa, you can get nothing back for that card. In terms of SBCs in general, though, I would love EA to just do more. Like, we've had the same upgrade SBCs since SBCs came into the game in FIFA 17, was it? We've had the same... We haven't even had any new basic or advanced SBCs this year. like last year we have the league SBCs. Last year at the back end of the game we got the nation SBCs. Why don't we have those all the time? We should have more. There should be more basic SBCs that really reward the grindy players. And I know that's very selfish of me to be like, oh, I want more that benefits me. But I think a lot of you guys that watch this videos as well are grinders. You know, you play the game a lot. You play every avenue of the game to try and maximize your potential out of the game. And it would be cool to have, instead of like currently the bronze, silver and gold upgrade packs, it would be cool to have a mixed players pack. So you trade in, you know, a combination of bronze, silvers and golds, maybe even with a team rating. So maybe it just has a rating of like a 70 or a 68 rated squad. So you might be able to get away with a few golds and loads of bronzes, or loads of silvers and a few bronzes. But for completing that SBC, you just get a mixed players pack. That's it. So 4 bronze, 4 silvers, 4 golds, 1 rare, maybe even 3 rares. You know, they could do so much with like low-end SBCs that give people the ability to just grind their club from the bare bones of having nothing and unusable cards and untradeable unusable cards to turning around and having some really cool packs that they could save up for specific events and stuff, or just to open up and potentially get like better cards to replace the terrible cards that they've used in their SBC. That's my opinion anyway. Next comment is from the Mustache Ninja. It says, for the team of the season Bailey card prices, the first price drop came on the 29th of May, was when the World Cup mode came out. His price went up because everyone realised the World Cup mode was poor, went back to normal FUT. Then the big price drop near the end of June was because of all the special cards going back into packs. And the reason why I picked out this comment is because a lot of people ask me, what am I saving my packs for team of the season? And the answer generally is, I don't know. And I don't know because I sit there and I think, like, you know, we started Project Team of the Season, and I'm basing a lot of what I'm doing on hopes and prayers and guesswork and history of EA. And based on how successful the Festival of FUT was last year, I would be extremely surprised if we didn't get a promo very similar, where all of the best of the cards go into the game again, and where we get another whole bunch of just random summer themed or World Cup themed or European themed teams that go into packs as well, to keep people engaged and interested and spending money and playing the game. I'd be very surprised if we didn't get that again. And when I think of how regularly you could pack players even out of 5k packs, like 5k pack method become a viable method last year. You know, you open 5k pack, you're so likely to get a special card and discard it for more than the cost of the pack that people just used to sit there spamming 5k packs to make profit. It was brilliant. I loved it. I genuinely loved it. And so I sit here and I think, am I saving, like, you know, I'm saving some packs because common base cards are very easy to achieve in terms of team of the seasons this year. But somebody was like perhaps a league like the Premier League won't have too many common base cards at team of the season. So when am I going to open my packs? And it honestly just depends on what EA does. I think the 100Ks and the 50Ks and all the rares, like mostly rare players, will be opened throughout the Premier League team of the season. Because other than the high-end players from the other leagues, Ronaldo, Messi, Neymar, etc., the Premier League is generally the most expensive league for team of the season cards. So if I want to use them, that's cool. And if I want to sell them, I'll get a whole bunch more coins back, right? So there's that. In terms of all the other packs, the little packs that have got a whole bunch of silvers and common gold cards and stuff, I really hope that we get some more minor league SBCs, the Liga NOS or the Pro League and stuff. Oh, sorry, Team of the Seasons, the Liga NOS, the Pro League, the Saudi League and stuff, because I'll save those packs for those leagues, basically, because then I've got a great chance of getting bronze players as Team of the Seasons, silver players as Team of the Seasons, so on and so forth. Now, I did have a whole bunch more comments that were really, really good to go to talk about, but sadly for today we've run out of time, so I'm going to save all of those for another video. This is going to be the end of the video. In that last game there, it was a game I absolutely dominated, but I just couldn't find my way through that guy's back line. You know, he hit me on a counter in a corner. That's the way FIFA is sometimes, man. I felt I did enough to win the game, but like I was explaining earlier, I need to figure out the most efficient way to score rather than what the logical way to score is. This, though, guys, is going to be the end of the video. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. I'm out. Peace.